Today I have prepared a fascinating astronomy topic for you. I invite you to stay to discover the incredible nature, the cosmos, and us in it, and how eclipses affect us. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel FotoCrea33 first, and don't miss all the videos related to astronomy, photography, and creativity. Let's start. First of all, a solar eclipse, they have always existed, but we have always been amazed by this natural phenomenon. With its beauty, its unseen part of the cosmos in its immensity, causing all our daily activities to stop for minutes and observe such a phenomenon that it is. You will be very lucky if you get to see it. And it makes us see that the cosmos commands us. Being able to see it protected would be an unforgettable gift for you. The next solar eclipse will take place on April 8, 2024. So mark it on your calendar and don't miss it. The lucky countries that will be able to see it will be Canada, the United States, and Mexico. A total solar eclipse is when the moon completely covers the sun. They align perfectly, making the sun appear the size of the moon and the moon the size of the sun. And we, from the Earth, are the spectator of such a coincidence. This alignment of the sun, moon, and Earth has to be exact for a total solar eclipse to occur. The shadow of the moon will be projected onto the Earth, covering the sun and allowing us to see things around it that cannot be seen when the sun is shining. However, while the sun is covered by the moon, there is a whole classification of eclipses, and one must be careful not to see them directly without protection in their eyes, since you can go blind. Like when the so-called engagement rings of Bailey pearls. A solar eclipse can happen at any time of the day, making it completely dark for a few minutes. As if the night came, the temperature will drop, the flowers would close, and animals such as birds would go to sleep believing that the eclipse was over day. All this in a few minutes. It is difficult to understand this phenomenon even if studying it. I can imagine, without knowing and ignoring astronomical knowledge, how terrifying it must have been in ancient times. A book was released about the particular eclipses. Coins were minted as a souvenir of the event. I had the great opportunity to see the total solar eclipse on July 11, 1991 in Mexico City. And I still remember it as a magnificent, shocking due to incredible nature of phenomenon and its beauty. They can happen on average 2 per year, but not total solar eclipses. The total eclipse can last up to 8 minutes, but in its transition, that is from the beginning to the end, up to 2 hours can pass. What types of eclipse are? Total eclipse, when the moon is between the sun and the earth, completely blocking the sunlight seen from the earth. Annular eclipse, as its name suggests, it is in the shape of a ring and depends on the distance between the moon and the earth. The moon does not completely cover the sun, but only lets the edges of the sun pass through. Partial eclipse, which is when the moon does not completely block the sun, but partially. There is also the lunar eclipse, but I will talk about this in another video, since this is another different phenomenon. Well, I hope you like this video and continue seeing and subscribe.